stuff that are on Zoom or on the website also. Okay, so that's the information piece for everything that we do. As most of you know, I'm doing a 9-week series on gratitude. And last week we began the series by talking about the gratitude for the gift of life. Today I really want to concentrate on family, gratitude for family. And so to begin, I took a quotation from Thomas Merton. I want to use as our meditation reading for today. It's from his book, No Man is an Island. So I'll start off with that. It is therefore of supreme importance that we consent to live not for ourselves, but for others. When we do this, we will be able, first of all, to face and accept our own limitations. As long as we secretly adore ourselves, our own deficiencies will remain to torture us with apparent defilement. But if we live for others, we will gradually discover that no one expects us to be as gods. We will see that we are human, like everyone else, that we have weaknesses and deficiencies. These limitations of ours play a most important part in all of our lives. It is because of them that we need each other, and others need us. We are all not weak in the same spots, and so we supplement and complement one another. Each one is making up in himself for the lack in the other. I love Thomas Merton, and especially his book, No Man is an Island, because it really teaches me a lot about the whole concept of family and our connection to family. So I thought I'd start off today with something I always enjoy doing, and most of the mothers that are online with us will understand what I'm talking about. I want to kind of share with you something real simple about the concept of birth. Because I really believe that the first family that we get into is the family that comes from birth. But, you know, a little bit of a comedy, but it works this way. I like you to visualize a little child inside the mother's womb. And we're going to go in and visit that little child. And as we go inside, we realize that little child has a conversation for each and every one of us. It's comfortable there. It likes it there. It's in isolation. And it's very comfortable because it doesn't have to really do anything. It just kind of floats around. It's moving around. It's very comfortable. But then something happens. It starts to grow. And then it gets a little bit uncomfortable. And then somebody tells it that it's time for it to leave. Now we have the first journey of life and the first struggle of life. There's a doctor on the other end telling you to push. The little kid on the inside says, I don't want to go out there. But we keep saying push. And so now we got this struggle going on. And that struggle is called the struggle of life. And so eventually, that little sucker basically gets out, even though it's struggling and fighting to stay in. Once it gets out, though, the doctor picks it up and slaps it. Now, I was just comfortable. I was in a nice place. I was really floating around real nice. They got me out here, and then this crazy guy slaps me. Well, I really use that as an example because I really believe that's what life really is all about. That little child has just joined its first family. Now, is that family dysfunctional? Of course it is. I've yet to meet a family that's not dysfunctional in one way or another. But dysfunctionality is part of life. And I've said this so many times. I think that we have to give dysfunctionality a bad name, because I really believe that we need dysfunctionality in life to teach us about ourselves and how we deal with things in life. And so from that moment of the child's birth into its blood family, it's now going to go on a journey of experiencing many families. And the hardest part of developing family systems and working with families is the fact that sooner or later, we have to be able to look at all of our family systems, no matter what they were, and even the ones that were really horrible, and try to look at them through the eyes of gratitude. Because sooner or later, if we do our work and if we just struggle through the stuff we have to struggle through, eventually, from everything that happens to us in our life, through our family systems, we discover more about ourselves. And Thomas Merton said it so very beautifully, and it kind of relates to what's going on today. Many of us have been forced to kind of be in isolation right now. And unfortunately, if we're not careful, it can become very comfortable. And as a result, then we literally kind of like this. But sooner or later, we're going to have to slowly but gradually go back into some form of reality. But going back into reality doesn't mean it's going to be just the way it was before. And so we have to rely on our family systems and our connection to one another to make our adjustments and make our changes as we move into a new form of reality. And I believe this very deeply. I believe that we're all on a journey. And I look back on family systems because I've shared this so many times. At the moment that child came into the world and began its journey, it joined all different types of families. We're always joining families, no matter what we do in life. You know, the family of origin, the blood family, the neighborhood, the family it's going to go into, no matter what the neighborhood is, the cultural family, its connection, a religious or a non-religious family system. It's going to be getting messages from all over the place, pure family and even society family. And every one of these family systems is going to join and become part of will have some forms of dysfunctionality. And thank God that they do, because if they were perfect, we never do any growing. And so really, in reality, we've got to go through our struggles, go through our changes, and realize the fact that somehow, some way, we're able to get through them over a period of time. But unfortunately, it may take time to do this. But the key is, all change, all growth takes place in a family system. You need a family to belong to learn from. And I truly believe that even in recovery, we are developing new healthy family systems because we learn from one another, we grow from one another. As Thomas Merton said it so beautifully, how am I ever going to experience my limitations or experience any type of growth if I don't have people to interact with and connect with to help me through that process? And so families are systems we become part of to help us through the struggles and things we have to go through in life. Because I really believe this today. I look at my own self and use myself as an example. You know, growing up in my family system, was it dysfunctional? Sure, my parents won awards for dysfunctionality. But that's okay, because they were human. And they had their little idiosyncrasies and the different ways of life, and I picked up a lot of them. And as a result, then, literally, I was able to almost be forced into joining other family systems. The neighborhood, the things around me, my Italian culture, the things I've experienced over the course of life. I've had teachable moments from every one of them. Were all those moments positive? No. Some were negative, some were positive. Growing up in the streets of Camden, we had a lot of negative concepts we had to deal with. And yet there were obstacles we had to overcome. There were things we had to be able to face, we had to handle. You know, I look back on my own family of origin, I look back on my mother and my father, and I understand today how many obstacles they came through in their growth process and their journey in life. I often say to myself, I don't know if I would have had the courage to go through what they went through, but I guess if I had to, I could. But the concept is we learn and we grow from our family systems. We also experience the fact that we grow and learn from our recovery families, even our religious family systems. Everything's in process of changing. Nothing stays the same. You know, I came from a religious family system that taught me definitely fear and guilt in a big time. And yet over the course of the years, I had to face that fear, face that guilt, do my learning from it, and realize I can look back today and say to them, all the religious systems, the things I was connected to, the growth takes place in my life, I can look back and say thank you. Have an attitude of gratitude. Even though there was hurt, there was pain, there was struggle involved. Because I really believe that our most powerful growth comes from our struggle, comes through things. And I realize today, if I look back on my own history, I've been part of many families, the priesthood, marriage, my wife's family, different types of family systems. I even live in a family today over in Holiday City, which is a throwback, you know, to the old days. I feel like I moved into South Philadelphia over here. I feel like I moved back into Northeast Philly, to South Camden, you know, so basically it's almost like going back in history again. But I realize over and over again that everything is cyclic. Everything goes in a circle. And that we basically keep experiencing these things and go through our growth process. So I'm grateful today, even for those people in my life that were very unhealthy for me. I'm grateful because I had the courage and I had the strength, even though I fought it and I battled it like everybody else. We're all human. I had to go through therapy, go through struggles, go through addictions, go through a lot of things to finally go through my learning. Look back on my own journey today, and I'm grateful for addiction. I'm grateful for the addiction of my family, because at least they brought me to the gift of recovery. Everything in life has a positive side to it. Here's the big point I try to bring out. For every negative, there's a positive. If we have the courage and the strength, and it takes courage and it takes strength, like the Serenity Prayer says, it takes courage to have to face the things we have to face the struggles we have to go through, face the adversity, and be able to grow and discover the positive gifts we can get from it. So from every negative, we can learn a positive, but it's not going to come easy. Nobody's going to be able to do it magically. And that's why it's a little bit at a time. It's a struggle we have to go through. I learned this a long time ago from one of my early sponsors, that all growth takes place a little bit at a time, slow, gradually. And if things happen slowly and gradually, everything works. But also, part of the process of family, they taught me the gift of faith. They taught me to realize the fact that faith is such a gift, to believe. And I don't know about you, but I'm so grateful today for what I call, I use an analogy for it. I call it the human library. Each one of us on the face of this earth, and I really believe this, even when I was a prison chaplain and the prisoners and the people I experienced, every human being on the face of this earth is a book in process of being written. And that is basically part of the journey of life. Our book is ours. It belongs to us. It's our journey, our responsibility. And every day when you wake up, we put a new chapter in the book. We have to ask ourselves, what is my chapter for today? What am I learning today? How can I grow today? How can I put these things in perspective today to look at life in a positive way? And as a result, then I can grow a little bit more today. And maybe if I happen to wake up tomorrow, I can grow a little bit more. What I love about the concept of being connected to one another in family systems is that we learn from each other. My father's book, my mother's book were my first teachers. My family were my teachers. All the people I've met over the course of these years have been my teachers. They're all books. I call it the greatest library on the face of the earth. And every human being is unique, is special. Every human being, even those that have done some crazy stuff in life, that on the other side of it, somewhere, someplace, if we have the courage and the strength to face adversity, to face the things we have to face, strength will come from them, growth will come from them, new things will happen from them. I think what gets us in trouble a lot of time, this gets me in trouble a lot of time, is I get caught up in resentments. I could get caught up in criticizing. I get caught up in trying to find magical answers to everything. But I realize today, with the grace of God and this program, I realize the fact that there are no magical answers. There is no perfect. Everything in life is this beautiful process of learning, of growing, of discovering new things inside of ourselves. But it does involve faith. It involves belief. Here we go again with that second and third step in the program. Come to believe. Let go, let God. Be open to the process and know that something's guiding us. So faith, a sense of humility, of learning, a sense of honesty, a sense of growth helps us on the journey of our life. And so we're going through some difficult times right now. And yet there's a positive and there's a negative to it. Hopefully we pray every day that somehow we can grow and learn from the things that are going on. Will we have disappointments? Yes. Will things work out exactly the way we want them to work out? I hope not. They're not supposed to. Everything will work out the way it's supposed to. Most of you who know me know about what I always call my spiritual words. My two favorite spiritual words are supposed to. Everything that happens in life happens because it's supposed to. And therefore, I'm able to accept it, face it, grow from it, and learn from it. My other favorite word, you hear me say all the time, my favorite spiritual word is fertilizer. I really believe that from fertilizer comes something beautiful. I always tell the story. As a kid, my father used to use manure in his garden. He used to always say to me, he used to say, see that manure goes into the ground. It becomes vitamins and minerals for things to grow. And I realize today, just like us, all of our manure, all of our crap, all of our garbage, all the things, struggles, the things we go through, everything else, if we have the courage to process them. How do I process them? In some sort of a family system. I can't do it by myself. Want to know why? I can't do it by myself? Because this thing gets me in trouble. My head. I'll analyze it. I'll make myself crazy. I'll go over it 68 times. I'll try to figure it out. But when I'm able to share it and talk to others about it and process it out, that's why I believe so deeply in the family system. Because once I'm able to process it and get it out of me, it's not as big as it was when it was inside of me. And as a result, then, I can also learn from other people's stories, what they're going through in life. One of the greatest things I've learned from 12-step meetings is to hear other people's feelings, other people's stories, the things they've gone through. It makes me feel human. It makes me feel like I'm not the only one on the face of this earth going through this. The old timers in the program used to say that all the time. Everybody's equal. We're all connected to one another. We're all God's children. We're all part of one another. We're all different sizes. We're different shapes. We're different colors. We're different aspects in life. We have different talents and gifts, but we're all part of one. I always use the term of the mosaic. Each one of us is a piece of the mosaic of life. Each one of us is learning from one another. But I really believe very deeply in the concept of a family system. I need to be around other people. I need to grow and learn from others. I can't isolate and be by myself. And I'm going to tell you, the minute I start isolating, my head goes to work. And my head can be crazy. It can be nuts. And I can analyze myself to death, make myself half crazy. I had one nervous breakdown. I don't want any more. Because I realized today you can't do a damn thing about it. Do the best you can every day. Enjoy the people around you. Celebrate the gift of family. I always share this when I give my lectures. I belong to many families today, and I'm grateful. I belong to my blood family. I love my blood family. They're fantastic. They're wonderful. But, a good portion of them don't truly understand what I'm doing. Remember, my aunt was alive. She used to always say to me, "You still hanging around those crazy people?" I say, "Sure." She always kind of said all these wonderful things. When are you going to stop doing that? But I accept them as they are. I love my blood family. Love having a cup of coffee with them. A couple of my blood family members are in recovery. I love talking to them. I have my wife's family, a family I love. I love every one of them. They're another teachable moment for me. I'm grateful they allowed me to become part of them. My grandkids, they're all family, but also my recovery family. I'm so grateful for my recovery family. I am so grateful for the people I've met over the past few years in my life. And I've been around this thing called recovery now, good God, since 1975 when I got introduced to it. And thousands of people I've met over the years, and even the people from the streets, people I've met in the prisons and different places, I have learned so much about life. And I hope and pray every day I can take the lessons I've learned, the things I've experienced, and share them with others. I wouldn't be able to be here today sharing what I'm sharing with you if I didn't have these experiences. Now, all of our experiences, no matter what they are, even the most horrible ones we've gone through, can become our strength. They tell us this in the program. Your experience, when you have the guts to face it, deal with it, and love it, can then become your strength, and then becomes your hope. But the most important thing, and Thomas Merton said it beautifully today, you have to be able to connect with others and share with others. I don't want to walk through this life all by myself. I need people in my life. And even now, we got to do it through Zoom. We can't do that human interaction or that human hug. What I miss the most are the hugs. What I miss the most are the connection to other people. I miss the fact that we can actually look each other in the face and talk to one another and share with one another. And when I look out in that audience, sometimes I see young people, I see people that are older, I see all kinds of individuals, but each one is unique and each one is special. Even those who have gone before us, our teachers, the elders, the people that we've experienced, those that are in the other world now, they're all our family. We belong to that family too. But the thing I want to bring out so strong today is, do we have gratitude for our experiences in life? Are we able to look at them with a positive attitude? Do I have enough strength with the help of others, not by myself, to learn from my experiences and grow from my experiences? To realize the fact that I'm not alone. The most beautiful thing about life and I love about recovery is I get the opportunity to meet so many people in the course of my journey. Some of them I remember who they are, some I don't, but they're all part of the journey. They're all part of that library I talk about all the time. And I'm learning over and over again that nothing happens by accident. I wasn't born into my family system by accident. My mom and dad were my delegated teachers. I learned a lot from them, beautiful gifts from them. My father was a great teacher. He had so many little sayings he used to say to me all the time. He drove me crazy, but I loved him. My mom was a great teacher. Was she a little bit on the crazy side? Yeah. My mom had a lot of strength. She could handle a lot of things. No, unfortunately, addiction was part of it too. But the bottom line is, I learned from my mom. I got my strength from my mom. They were my first teachers. I spent a lot of time being angry at them, being frustrated, going through therapy, talking about them. And finally, I realized today, whoa, that anger is my perceptions, my stuff. I have to work through it inside of me. Once I was able to work through it, I could really see the positive lessons they taught me. My dad taught me the gift of service, taught me how to be a servant, taught me how to connect with others. He truly was, even to a fault. My mom taught me strength. She taught me how to handle situations. She taught me to have guts, to be able to do some of the things I have to do. But the biggest thing she taught me was to overcome fear. I grew up in a very wonderful family, strange family. I like when it's wonderful and strange at the same time. It's a beautiful part about it. And as I go through the journey, I meet more and more people. And so even starting point, when it started out, it was a little place with street people in Philadelphia. That was our family. I loved every one of them. They were my family back then. Our little soup kitchen, the people that came every day, the South Philadelphia group, the 4021 Club, all the people that were part of that journey. I have so much gratitude for them today. They were my greatest teachers. I look at things moved over the years, the people I'm working with today, the people that are part of my family today in recovery. I have a wonderful family, fantastic family. And I realize today that we have to allow ourselves to be part of many different types of families. And each one is a teachable place. Yes, we have to have boundaries in our families, but we learn and we grow from them. And nobody comes into you by accident. We get visitors coming here from other states. And the thing I love about Zoom so much is I'm meeting people from other states in the areas. I'm meeting people that I met 25 and 30 years ago. All of a sudden I met them on Zoom. So again, there's a purpose why this is happening. There's a purpose why maybe this is a way to do a big reunion of everybody and stay connected to each other. Because I really believe that we can look at technology negatively, we can look at it positively, but it can become a major part of our family system, a major part of our growth process. But we have to really work on having an attitude of gratitude. To me, gratitude, humility, faith are all part of each other. They're all part of the family system. And I'm so grateful today for those people in my life that have helped me to face dysfunctionality, to face conflict, to face struggle, be able to work through them. Do I get scared? Yeah. I get scared about a lot of stuff in my life. You know, people still joke with me about this, but my wife will tell you if you want to ask her. You know, right before the lectures, I get nervous, I get uptight. You know, I was pacing the floor in the living room before this thing started. But once I get into it, it changes everything. So now I understand that's all part of being a human being. You know, realizing the fact you're going to talk to a lot of people. All I can share with them are my experiences, my strength, and my hope. You know, I realize over and over again that that's all we have in life. Have our experiences. We have the people we're around. We have gratitude. You know, I'm grateful for those people who kick me in the rear end every once in a while. Those people who call me on my stuff. Thank God for them because they believe they love you and they, you know, even tough love is a beautiful thing to learn from things around us. But you know what? Got to go through the fire. That's what it's all about. Got to go through the fire, and sometimes you got to get burnt. Sometimes you got to get scars. I call them battle scars. Believe me, I got a bunch of them. You know, and the bottom line is those scars are teachable moments. Those scars are growth things. Look back on your history. Look back on the growth process of your life, and realize there are no coincidences. Everything that happened happened so you could learn, so you could grow, so you could discover more things about yourself as a person. But also, whenever I talk about this, I always talk about the most beautiful part is learning what I call the higher power club, be part of it. So I'm going to ask everybody today to join the higher power club. I call it the 4-H club. Be as honest with yourself as you can be, and be honest with others, you know, with a sense of love. Treat everybody with love. Even honesty has to be tempered by love. Have a sense of humility. Keep learning, keep discovering. You're never done. Please don't get done. You know, that means you're not here anymore. So keep learning, keep growing. Have a sense of humor. Laugh at yourself every day. Because good God, we are funny. Unbelievable. Just keep looking in that mirror. If you don't think you're funny, I want you all do me a favor tomorrow morning. When you wake up, run in the bathroom and stare in the mirror. If you don't laugh, you're really sick. But that is funny. You know, so many of us can't even see in the morning. That's the beautiful part about it. So this whole part of the journey of life, you know. So laugh at yourself once in a while. Even the insanity, we can laugh at that too. And have a sense of healing. Make peace with the past. Learn from it. Your past is your history. I've learned over the years that I am grateful today for all the families I have been part of. Even the ones that are very dysfunctional, because they're a part of my journey. I'm grateful for the people that have come into my life. I'm grateful for the fact that a lot of conflict I had to go through. I'm grateful having the opportunity to be a prison chaplain and be part of the prison family. You know why? They were great teachers too. And so ask yourself some questions today in a very simple way as we continue this process of gratitude. Have gratitude for your life. Have gratitude for who you are. If you're going through a depression, someday you'll be able to be grateful for the depression. Sounds crazy, doesn't it? But it'll bring you to the other side. See, it's like almost like facing things and enduring them, but don't do it alone, please. You need people. You need family. Be around people. They're the ones you grow and learn from. You know, some of my greatest teachers today are my grandkids. They're great. A lot of technology stuff I'm learning from them. Okay, they have a different energy. You know, I get jealous of them sometimes with their energy. You know, but yet I'm learning from them too. So God, thank you, God, for sending them into my life. I want to kind of close this out today with a prayer. I truly believe that prayer is so important. Dear God, thank you for the gift of family. Thank you for all the families we are part of. Thank you for one another. For even us, as we're here today, we are family to one another. Teach us to grow and learn from each other in all that we do. Teach us to be open to grow and learn. Teach us to realize that you are constantly being a teacher in our life. Teach us to have to face adversity, even face loss, to face change in life. Nothing's going to be easy, I know it. Sometimes the struggle is part of what it's really all about. As the struggle is part of the journey of life. And realize the fact, help me, please, God, to face my struggles, to face my conflicts, to face the things I have to go through, so that somehow, some way, I'll be able to walk through them, to face my fears, so I can learn, I can grow from them. Give me the gift of faith, God, please. Help me on the journey. But above all, give me the gift of gratitude. Teach me every day to say thank you. Thank you for the gift of life. Thank you for the gift of being part of a family, being grateful for the people around us, being grateful for all the different communities we're a part of. But I also say thank you, God, for my blood family, for my wife's family, for my recovery family especially. And I'm grateful to be part of each and every one of them. Also to realize the fact, God, that you are the one that led me to all this. So I'm grateful for you. Thank you for being a teacher. Thank you for helping me have to face the things I have to face in life. So we ask God's blessing upon all of us as we gather here today, and that we kind of take this message and carry it to other people in our family system, and let them know that they're loved and they're cared for, and give them the gift of faith, the gift of belief, because everything will work out in God's time. We ask this in your name, God. Thank you so much. And so just to kind of close out, I'd like all of you just to join me in a very simple way today by saying with me the Serenity Prayer.
God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. God's will, not mine, be done.